Since the beginning of civilization, human beings have searched for many things: food, shelter, power, knowledge. Every generation has pursued survival, security, and progress. Yet among all these pursuits, one desire has remained remarkably constant: the desire to find someone who truly understands us, someone who sees us beyond our achievements, beyond our fears, beyond the roles we play every day. Across every continent and every civilization, stories have emerged about extraordinary connections between people. Some call it destiny, some call it fate, some believe it is written in the stars. Others believe it is simply the result of countless choices, experiences, and moments that gradually bring two lives together. Whatever the explanation, one question has echoed across thousands of years: why do humans spend so much of their lives searching for a soulmate? This is not simply a story about romance. It is a story about humanity itself. It is a story about our deepest need to belong. Thousands of years ago, there were no dating apps, no social media, no instant message. There were no algorithms suggesting potential partners with the swipe of a finger. Relationships were shaped by families, traditions, geography, culture, and the realities of survival. People met through their communities, festivals, marketplaces, shared responsibilities. Travel was difficult. Communication was slow. Meeting someone from another village could itself become a remarkable event. Yet despite these limitations, people still dreamed about finding someone who truly understood them. Ancient civilizations left behind poems filled with longing, songs celebrating reunion after years of separation, legends about lovers overcoming impossible odds. Ancient India told stories of divine partnerships. Greek philosophers reflected on love and companionship. Egyptian poetry celebrated devotion. Persian literature spoke of longing and destiny. Chinese folklore preserved stories of souls connected across lifetimes. Although separated by thousands of miles, these cultures shared one remarkable belief: some relationships feel different, as though they were always meant to happen. Modern neuroscience offers another perspective. Human beings are deeply social by nature. Our brains did not evolve only to hunt, gather, and survive. They evolved to connect. From the moment we are born, our relationships begin shaping who we become. Parents teach us trust. Friends teach us belonging. Communities teach us cooperation. Meaningful relationships influence our emotions, our decisions, our confidence, and even our physical health. Research has shown that strong social connections are associated with greater emotional resilience, lower stress, and better overall well-being. Loneliness, on the other hand, has been linked with increased stress, anxiety, and poorer health outcomes. This is why human connection feels so powerful. It is not merely a pleasant experience. It is woven into our biology. The search for a partner is about much more than romance. For many people, it is the search for companionship, shared growth, mutual understanding, someone to celebrate victories with, someone who remains beside us during life's greatest challenges. Have you ever met someone and felt as though you've known them for years? A conversation flows effortlessly. Silence feels comfortable instead of awkward. You discover similar values, similar ways of thinking, similar dreams. Psychologists often describe this phenomenon as rapid interpersonal connection. It can emerge through shared experiences, compatible communication styles, mutual openness, emotional honesty, or the comforting realization that another person understands your perspective without lengthy explanations. When these elements come together, they create a powerful sense of familiarity in a surprisingly short time. Many people describe this feeling as destiny. Others describe it as compatibility. Psychology explains part of it. Culture explains another. Personal experience explains even more. Regardless of the explanation, those moments often leave a lasting impression. They remind us that meaningful human connection is one of life's most extraordinary experiences. And perhaps that is why, across every civilization, across every century, across every generation, human beings have never stopped searching. Because the greatest discoveries in life are not always new continents or remarkable inventions. Sometimes, the greatest discovery is another human being who makes us feel at home. Modern science offers another perspective on one of humanity's oldest questions. Why do we long for connection? Why does finding the right person matter so deeply? The answer may begin inside the human brain. Neuroscience suggests that human beings are not simply intelligent creatures. We are profoundly social ones. Long before cities, long before language, long before civilization itself, our ancestors survived because they stayed together. They hunted together, protected one another, raised children as communities, shared food, shared knowledge, and shared responsibility. For early humans, isolation was dangerous. Belonging increased the chances of survival. Over thousands of generations, our brains adapted to value connection, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Today, the world looks very different. We no longer depend on tribes to survive wild landscapes. Yet our brains still carry the same ancient wiring. The need to belong remains. From the very first moments of life, human connection begins shaping who we become. A parent's comforting voice, a reassuring touch, a familiar smile. These early experiences help build our understanding of trust and emotional safety. As children grow, friends teach cooperation, schools teach teamwork, communities teach empathy. Every meaningful relationship becomes another chapter in the story of who we are. Science continues to reveal just how deeply relationships influence our lives. Supportive relationships are associated with greater emotional resilience, lower levels of stress, improved mental well-being, and in many studies, better long-term physical health. Simply knowing that someone is there for us can change the way we respond to life's greatest challenges. On the other hand, extended loneliness has been linked with higher levels of stress, anxiety, depression, and poorer health outcomes. This doesn't mean being alone is always harmful. Many people value solitude, but prolonged social isolation can affect both the mind and the body. Perhaps this explains why genuine connection feels so powerful. It isn't merely an emotion. It reflects something deeply rooted in human biology. The search for a partner, therefore, is about far more than romance. For many people, it is the search for companionship. Someone who listens without judgment. Someone who celebrates success without jealousy. Someone who offers encouragement when life becomes uncertain. Someone who grows alongside us through every stage of life. A meaningful relationship is not simply about finding happiness. It is about building resilience together, growing together, facing uncertainty together, and creating a shared story that neither person could have written alone. But something even more fascinating sometimes happens. Have you ever met someone, and within minutes, felt as though you've known them for years? The conversation flows effortlessly. There is no pressure to impress. Silence feels comfortable rather than awkward. Your sense of humor seems to match. Your values begin to align. Your experiences unexpectedly overlap. The interaction feels surprisingly familiar. Psychologists often describe experiences like these as rapid interpersonal connection. Although every relationship is unique, research suggests that several factors can contribute to these powerful first impressions. Shared values, compatible communication styles, mutual openness, emotional honesty, common life experiences, and a willingness to be genuinely present with another person. Together, these elements can create a remarkable feeling of comfort in a very short period of time. For some people, that feeling is simply excellent compatibility. For others, it feels almost impossible to explain. Many describe it as destiny. Others call it chemistry. Some see it as coincidence. Others believe it reflects something much deeper. Psychology offers valuable insights. Culture offers its own interpretations. Personal experience often fills in the spaces between them. Perhaps no single explanation tells the entire story. Yet regardless of how we understand these moments, they often remain unforgettable. A single conversation can change the direction of a life. One unexpected meeting can become a lifelong friendship. A chance encounter can become a lasting partnership. Perhaps this is why every civilization has created stories about extraordinary human connections. Not because every meeting is destined, but because every human being understands the hope that somewhere, among billions of people, there may be someone who truly sees us, someone who understands us without pretending, someone with whom we can grow. And perhaps that quiet hope, more than anything else, is why humanity has never stopped searching.